Welcome back to another week of the Line Whisperer. Last week in college football we went 5-1. I was trying to narrow it down this week to a few less games, but the lines were talking to me, and I couldn't narrow it down to less than 6 again. So we're going to go through the 6. I got 2 underdogs and 4 favorites. We'll go over that. I don't have a truffle butter bet this weekend. That bet really has to jump out at me. I can't go and force it. And this week it didn't jump out at me, although I do have a mini truffle butter bet, which I'll share as far as one of these 6. Alright, so let's go over the 2 underdogs that I like. The 2 underdogs that I like are Northern Illinois plus 14.5 against Nebraska. Nebraska is a fraud team. Scott Frost doesn't know what he's doing. He's in over his head. The national media, they all love him. Sounds like a great story. Everybody wants Nebraska back. Bring back the Tommy Frazier days, blah, blah, blah. They went to Colorado as a favorite and lost outright. Yeah, they might win this game, but Northern Illinois is always a good frisky team. I always like them as an underdog. They covered last week. I figured 14.5. They're going to cover this week, so guarantee that. Another one I like is BYU. I'm always a fan. I like all 3 Utah teams. BYU, Utah, Utah State, especially when they play at home. So they're playing USC. BYU's getting 4.5. I like BYU getting 4.5 in that game. USC has a new freshman quarterback coming. But when they go to that Mormon state, everything's crazy. A lot of religion involved. And those heathen Trojans are going to come in. They don't have a chance. I think BYU wins outright. I'm not going to go crazy with the money line, but taking BYU as an underdog plus 4.5 and Northern Illinois plus 14.5. 2 more bets that I really like are my old standby so far this year, UCF minus 8.5 against Stanford. I loved UCF last week, and it wasn't because of the X's and O's. It was because they needed that recruiting advantage over the FIUs and Florida Atlantic and South Floridas, and they wiped the field with Florida Atlantic and Lane Kiffin. So this week, hey, they're playing Stanford, much better team, much better pedigree. However, those wine country boys are going to be coming to the steamy swamps of Orlando with all the Gators, and I think they might keep it close. They might even be winning at half, Stanford, but I think at the end, UCF's going to come out and win by at least 10. We're getting minus 8.5. It's never good to keep going with the same team as a favorite. Eventually you got to zag. I'm not ready to zag yet, and hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass, but I'm ready to stay with UCF for this moment. And the second one that I like, besides UCF, is Michigan State. This is also a mini truffle butter bet. Why is Michigan State favored by 14? They had a big win last week. Arizona State, they lost 2 last year, so Herm Edwards knows what's going on. This game shouldn't be more than 10 points, but it's 14. It's in Michigan State. I'm taking Michigan State just for that reason, minus 14. And the last game I like tonight is San Diego State, minus 16 against New Mexico State. New Mexico State is one of the worst football teams around. So I'm taking San Diego State, minus 16. Also lets me do a little Chip Kelly reference. He's another one I should keep betting against. I've won twice. I've bet on him against Cincinnati and against San Diego State. But I'm zagging against Chip Kelly this week. I really don't want him fired. I need him. They're not going to beat Oklahoma, but if they can lose by 10, that'll keep Chip Kelly around a little bit longer because I want to bet on him in October and November because he is a fraud who can still win me money. So I'm not going to bet on Chip Kelly, but I'm going to bet on San Diego State indirectly. It's my bet against Chip Kelly, minus 16 in this particular instance against New Mexico State, who's one of the worst football teams in the country. And I said I was only betting 6 games, but there's too much meat on the bone this weekend. And I always love an exotic game that's off the usual Division I charts. And I like Charlotte, minus 20 at home against the UMass Minutemen. Why do I like Charlotte? They scored 50-some points last week. That's a good start. And UMass lost to Rutgers 30-0. That enough for me is Rutgers might be the only team worse than New Mexico State. So if UMass lost to them, that means they got to be one of the worst football teams in the country. If Charlotte can't beat them by 21 or more, I just can't see that happen. So Charlotte is the 7th one for the college football, and that wraps up the college. Now I made 7 college bets. However, I only have a quick NFL football bet. Really didn't like too many games this week. Nothing really stuck out too much. But I do like my Colts. Colts are getting 3 points against Tennessee. Tennessee, as I said last week, I like them against the Browns. However, that was practically a tie game in the 4th quarter, and then Baker Mayfield gave it away. I like the Colts, not only +3, that'd be 1. The second bet I would put on the Colts is throw a couple shekels on the money line. It's plus 150 to 155. So I'll take both of those bets. The Colts, I'll take the points, and I'll take them as a money line also. So those are my NFL bets for this week.
I don't have Cookie making any bets this week. I got to figure out a better way I can have her make her selections. So in lieu of that, you get a picture of Cookie that we just took last week. Anyways, on this, I've recapped what we've taken. Quick in the yellow is the 6 original college games, which are the 2 that I really love. UCF minus 8.5, and Michigan State, my mini truffle butter, the game that makes no sense, minus 14. And the FU Chip Kelly with San Diego State minus 16. And then I threw up top just for the heck of it. I was just thinking New Mexico State's a bad team. You know what's a bad team? Rutgers is a bad team. You know what's a bad team? Teams that loses to Rutgers, and that's UMass. That's why I'm taking Charlotte. That makes sense? And then finally, my NFL picks down there in the bottom. We're just going to go with Indy. That's all I'm feeling. Indy plus 3, and plus my first money line of 2019. Let's get Indy money line, plus 150. And there you go. Now let's go make some money. Peace out. Rudy the Line Whisperer.